Hello everyone, my name is Chad Nasser. I like cars and I like cars that don't go down in price, like the ones that you see behind me. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Nissan Patrol and the Toyota Land Cruiser and see which one is better. The Nissan Patrol and the Land Cruiser have been recognized worldwide for decades. They almost came about the same time back in the 40s, but the Nissan Patrol did not receive enough recognition in the United States because we never got them here. And that's why it's worth making the comparison video between the Nissan Patrol and the Toyota Land Cruiser. First thing is, let's talk about the look. Everybody loves this boxy style, just like the G-Wagon, just like the Hummer, just like the older Jeeps, just like the older Land Cruiser. This one is a 1997. In fact, this is the Y60 model. They made this one from 1988 until 1997. This is the very last model they made, and this is a Saudi Arabian spec. This one has an inline-six 4.2 liter engine. It's a carbureted engine with a 5-speed manual and it's a part-time 4-wheel drive. As far as power, it makes about 170 horsepower, and I think it's plenty for a car like this. But it's definitely very slow for what we have today. This specific model is the Safari. They made this one in a 4-door version like this, and also they made it in a 2-door version. It looks identical to this, but it has 2-door with a shorter wheelbase. This one is a two-tone from what you can see. It's got that turquoise color on top and also the beige almost on the bottom half. From what you can see is this car has a lot of chrome. Look at this thing. The entire front end is chrome. The whole grille, which starts from here all the way to the other side, is chrome. We got circular headlights, which is cool. We got bumper in chrome. We got window trim in chrome, door handle in chrome, side steps in chrome, and also rear bumper in chrome. Before we check the interior on the front, we're gonna check it from the back. What we have in here, you can see, first thing is we have a back AC. This AC is not available on all Nissan Patrols. We have controllers on the side right there. And also we have a cool box. You can put your beverages in there and it will keep them cool. But for now, let's check what we have in the front. It's like a real truck. And if we open the back door, there's really not much going on. We have nice cloth velvet seats and also a controller for the window. And that's it. You just sit and enjoy the ride. Once we go to the front seat, this is where the cool stuff are. What we have in here, door panels with very awkward positioned window switches. This is for the driver front, driver rear, passenger rear, and also lock for the babies. And also we got the center locks right there. Very simple. The previous owner put this plastic for protection. From you can tell, this is still original right there. Beautiful. I love when they do this stuff. Now let's hop in and see what we got. And we have the switches for the AC, cigarette lighter. We have a radio, okay. Rear controller for the fan in the back right there. You can control it from here, and also you can control it from back there. 5-speed manual transmission, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is reverse. To put this one in 4-wheel drive, currently it is 2-wheel drive high. To put it in 4-wheel drive high, you just have to go down this way, and you put it in 4-wheel low, you have to push this one down and then move it back. To move this one back, you have to push it again. Okay, now it's in neutral. And this one is in 2-wheel drive high. The cluster is very easy to read. We have the oil gauge, temperature gauge, RPM, speedometer, fuel gauge, and also a battery gauge. And you can see this one has only 55,000 kilometers, which is about equivalent to 35,000 miles. And when we go in here, we have this one for the heaters in the back right there, which is nice. Got defrosters, and the controller for the side mirrors are right here. Just center box, and not much going on. But the coolest thing is we got no sunroof, so you'll never worry about leaks. That's something I love on these older cars when they come with no sunroof. As far as seat position, for a person like me about 5'8", is very comfortable. But for someone that is a little bit bigger, it might not be the same, because I think this one is a little bit tighter as far as space than the Land Cruiser. Both of these trucks have solid front axle, which is a big plus. But this one, however, has been modified. This one, it's only got the old man emo shocks, and it gave it a little bit of height that some people desire. It wasn't something done by me, was something done by the previous owner. I just had to keep it. I just didn't want to swap it. And personally, I prefer the stock height, which just sits a little bit lower than where it's at right now. And now let's move on to the Toyota Land Cruiser. That's been loved by everybody internationally. And lately, it's been receiving a lot of love, especially from people in the United States. They're becoming very well sought after. And what you see behind me is the 1994 Toyota Land Cruiser that I've imported from Saudi Arabia. In fact, both of these vehicles are Saudi Arabian specs. I do have a 97, but I don't have a 97 with barn doors yet. That's why I'm using my 94 to compare it, and it has similar features to what the Patrol has. Now let's get to this one. Both of these trucks have very low mileage. That one has about 55,000 kilometers and this one about 78,000 kilometers, which they are very hard to come by. As far as the engine, the Land Cruiser has an inline-six 4.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, and with a 5-speed manual transmission and also a part-time 4-wheel drive. Like I mentioned, both of these cars have solid front axles and they don't have front and rear diff locks, which nobody almost uses. When it comes to the front end on the Land Cruiser from 1990 to 1994, it is a little bit different than the 95 to 97. And here's the very first thing you will notice. The 94 and below, it has the front text that says Toyota on the front grille. Unlike the 95 to 97, you'll see the Toyota emblem on the front. This one, because it's not a US spec, we have the hood ornament right here. The US spec one, it comes nice and smooth, but I prefer this one personally because it can tell a status. Another thing, because it's not a US spec, this one specifically is, the side markers are not orange. This one comes clear, and I like this. Another thing I love is the color. I am actively looking for another 1994 identical to this one, but it's really hard to find. Here's the very first reason why I am reviewing the 94 instead of the 97 is because this one has a split door, barn doors, ambulance doors. That's everybody love. I like the one that you see in the corner right there. That one's a 97, but it has a lift gate. So ambulance door, something we've never got in the US. And just open it like this. Super cool. You have a lot of access in here, but again, you don't have the bench that you will sit on. Personally, I don't really care about that too much. This is a little heavy because it hasn't been used much. Another thing is, this one has a spare tire right here and also a spare tire underneath. Unlike the Nissan Patrol, it only has one spare tire, which is on the tire carrier on the back door. When we open the front door, same thing. You can see very cool pattern on the cloth interior. This one's got regular car window switches, and let's hop inside and see what we got. We have right here a large steering wheel, easy to operate buttons. We have switches for the antenna and also switches for the AC. Also, we have a rear AC controller, but something this truck has is a sub-fuel tank that the Nissan Patrol does not have. Press this one, this activates the sub-fuel tank, it turns on the pump, and we have a gauge for the sub-fuel tank right there. And right next to what you see, we have a compass. I don't really know how to operate this, but maybe it comes in handy when you in need for it. On the side right here, we have a grab handle, just like what we have on the Nissan Patrol, and a glove compartment, just like most cars. One thing that the Nissan Patrol does not have, but has on a different area, is the cool box. That one has it on the back. This one has it right here. It's in the center console. We have a cool box, and also we have an ice maker. Look what it says, ice, where this can make ice cubes for you, which is absolutely cool. As far as the cluster, is very easy to read. We have the fuel gauge, we have the battery gauge, we have the speedometer. You can see it's got 78,000 kilometers, and we have the RPM and also the temperature gauge and the fuel pressure gauge. On the side right here, we have the power window switches, and we will come over here. We got the 5-speed manual transmission, just like most vehicles. Very easy to shift. And when we go to the small shifter, and to activate the four-wheel drive, we have to go to the small shifter. As you can see, it's on H2 right now. That means it's high two-wheel drive. To go to four-wheel drive, you just move it down, and to go to four-wheel drive low, you have to lift this up and then shift it down. Something extremely cool that I forgot to mention in here, and it's up here. This Land Cruiser does not have a sunroof, and another super cool thing that I wish all of them have, because most sunroofs leak and I think they're useless. This one doesn't have a sunroof. That's a big plus. And as far as the Land Cruiser, I think the Land Cruiser has more space inside. We have manual operating seats, just like the Nissan Patrol, and super easy to drive vehicle. As far as durability, everybody knows the Toyota Land Cruiser is one of the most rugged vehicle ever built. But again, the Nissan Patrol is also built very well. Now the question for you is, which one would you take? The Nissan Patrol or the Toyota Land Cruiser? Something I wanted to remind you. The Nissan Patrol is almost half the price of the Toyota Land Cruiser in most cases. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video.